The video showed images of crosses in South Africa about white farmers who have been killed and politically persecuted because of the color of their skin.
Whether you like him or not, the US President Donald Trump has managed to put the focus, the international focus, on South Africa, on the plight of the Afrikaner, on the plight of the farmer, the incredible scale of violence committed against South African farmers. I read here this morning, more than 26,000 people murdered every year in South Africa. That is 72 murders every single day. Trump also shone the light on the White Cross Memorial, the Witkruis Monument, located on a farm between Potgietersrus and Petersburg on the slope of the Eysterberg. And I noted down the names of these towns now are Polokwane, if I say it correct, and Mokopane. That's where you'll find the memorial, the White Cross Memorial. My guest is Cobus de Lange. He's a farmer and he's a member of the Memorial's Management Committee. And he's right now sitting in his car somewhere in that region. Welcome, Cobus. Thank you very much for talking to me.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Yeah. First and foremost, just tell me, where are you now?
I'm in Polokwane, just on the outskirts of Polokwane.
Yeah.
I'm sitting in my vehicle.
Let me start with this. I presume you watched the whole thing, Oval Office happening with Ramaphosa and Donald Trump. What did it feel like for you to watch the most powerful man in the world talking about the White Cross Memorial?
That was a very, very big moment for us in South Africa. All the farmers, and especially us, it's working on the White Crosses. Although the White Crosses that it showed was not the memorial itself here, the monument here,
Yeah.
but still we were mentioned. It was mentioned that it was the White Cross Monument. And I think the main thing is he put the spotlight onto farm murders that are so brutal and sadistic in South Africa. It's very brutal for people to be tortured for hours and hours long, some up to 9 hours it was tortured before they are killed in front of young children up to 2 years, and even 2 years old baby actually that was killed in one of these farm attacks.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about all of that. What does it mean to the farmers, the people in your community? What did they say?
The farmers are all welcoming and cheering Mr. Donald Trump for putting the spotlight on this, what can I say, the brutal experience that we as farmers experience here in South Africa.
I want to talk to you about the memorial itself. Could you first tell us what is your role?
Well, I'm overseeing at the memorial at this stage, helping with all the arrangements to clean the memorial and to keep it in a nice, presentable way.
Yeah.
Although it's not always possible to do it, it's for the size of it, it's very difficult to keep that whole thing in a tip-top shape, and the cost about that, because there's also just the costs are spiraling every year, and we don't get any funds, just the funds that we try to get out of some of our people that's helping us, and we are grateful for all of them that are helping us every year.
I'm going to ask you to tell me about the history of the White Cross Memorial. But before we talk about how it all started, I'd like to share a clip about the one of the founders, one of the first people, or rather the person on whose farm the White Cross Memorial has been established. Let's take a look at this clip.
Ons weet nie meer of ons 'n plek in hierdie land het nie en waarna toe ons gaan nie. Dit sal die toekoms en die liewe Here ons alleen nog kan laat weet. Hierdie plaasmoordkruise is 'n simbool van hoe ons blanke boere uitgemoor word in hierdie land. Dit is 'n volksmoord, teken van volksmoord, om vir die wêreld te wys dat ons wil van kos wil voorsien aan hierdie mense in hierdie land, hoe ons uitgemoor word om een of ander geen rede nie. Dit is doelloos. Die moorde word al erger en sprei verder uit in die land. En dit is nie net blanke boere wat deesdae vermoor word nie, daar word swart boere ook vermoor en swart plaaswerkers wat vermoor word. Dit is ons plekkie, ons is hier gebore, ons is al 365 jaar al in hierdie land wat ons ontwikkel, saam met die mense wat hier ons hier gekry het. Baie van die mense het na ons hier gekom, hulle het ons gehelp opbou, maar deesdae word ons blanke boere uitgemoor. Die rede daarvoor weet ons nie. Ons het nie die land van hulle gevat nie. Die plase en die grond het ons gekoop. Ons het by die Engelse gekoop, ons het by ander mense gekoop, ons het by Dingaan grond gekoop. Daardie tyd al, die Swazis het vir ons 'n groot stuk grond gegee. Die bewyse is daar omdat ons hulle gehelp het. Ons het gegaan om mense te help, nie om mense uit te moor en hulle grond te vat nie. Dit is 'n leuen wat hulle aan die wêreld probeer vertel, dat ons hulle grond gevat het. Die grootste fout wat ooit gemaak is, geen swarte het bewys gehad van hulle grond aan hom behoort nie. En hulle probeer die geskiedenis verdraai om hulle te pas. Hulle het hulle teruggaan en in die waarheid toe gaan. Die bewyse is daarso. Hulle moet net gaan kyk en ek glo die buiteland weet meer van die waarheid af as die mense in hierdie land van die waarheid af weet wat in hierdie land gebeur het. Hierdie land is duur met bloed gekoop. En ons het al die nasies in hierdie land 1961 vrygemaak uit kolonialisme uit. So dit is vir almal om hier so te kan bly en te kan lewe hierso, nie net vir die blankes nie.
That was Harry Harmse. Mr. Harmse, I think, passed away last year in 2024. He's on his farm, or part of his farm, is where we find this memorial. I don't know when you became involved with the memorial, Cobus, but can you just give us a little bit of a background? How did it start? When did it start exactly? How did this initiative, what motivated this initiative? How did this memorial come about?
Yeah, I'm involved in the memorial for the last 3 years now, helping with all the arrangements and stuff. And yeah, how it came about in June of 2004. There was a person named Niels Roelofse, Dr. Niels Roelofse. He was a criminal lecturer at the University of Limpopo. And his wife, Rina Roelofse, that was the MP for the Vryheidsfront here in Polokwane or Petersburg. And they started with a few people around here. They said there must happen something with this farm murders. And they started alongside the N1 to plant a few crosses. And after a few days, Sunrail, that's the managing company of the roads here in Limpopo, said they can't put it there and they asked him to shift it. And then that's that time when Harry and his family said, come to front and said, you can take the piece of land there, put it there, and we can make the Witkruis monument there. And on the 16th of June 2004, the first official planting day was there.
Yeah.
And they planted 1,200 crosses on that day.
1,200.
Yeah, that's correct. That was then from 1994 up until 2004, for that period, 20-year period.
Yeah.
But it's not all the crosses for all the people. There were more murders in that stage already, but they decided to do the 1,200 because that was what they could have done for the day there.
Yeah. There's some people thought it's a burial site. It's not a burial site. It is. No. It's just a memorial. How does it work, Cobus? Do you get information about somebody who had been murdered or killed? And then, I mean, how do you take the initiative to actually go and plant another white cross if somebody had been killed? How does it work?
Well, we gather. We've got people that gather all the information for us. We contact the family and ask them all the information. And as soon as they said or ask us to put the cross on, then we do the cross there for them. So it comes from the families also, but it is for the whole of South Africa, for the whole farmer or the boere gemeenskap to to see in future. I mean, like I told the other day to one of the other people, you can write a story, whatever you want to in a book, but this is a physical memorial that they can come generations to come and see what was going on in this period of the history of the Boers.
Yeah. How many crosses are there today?
There's just a few less than 3,000 at this stage. So it's quite busy, and this year we're doing at this stage already 42 crosses that will be planted in October. We're doing the planting on the 4th of October. The 3rd, on the Friday evening, there will be a ceremony where we get a few lights and light up the whole memorial place there, and we bring our thanks to the farmers that put their lives down for the community in South Africa already.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you a question that's maybe very difficult to answer. I'm not sure if it's if you could answer this, but there are close to 3,000 crosses. Each cross is representative of a farmer that had been killed. Some of them had been killed in a very, very brutal manner, and we read about it and we learn that we talk about torture that's involved here, etc., etc. Are you able to, let me put the question like this, can you recall the last cross that had been put there, and can you tell us something about the story behind that cross?
No, I cannot do that. I've got a thing with myself. If I must remember every cross that we plant, and I'll be long ago been to the mental hospital because you kill yourself with all that stories and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a question that I can't answer straight for you because it's just too
painful.
Too painful to keep everything and every cross to know what was going on.
Yeah. Well, I really respect that, Cobus. I really fully understand that, and thank you for giving this answer, because that in itself gives one an indication of how incredibly terrible these things are. I noted for myself that there's a cross there that's representing the youngest person who died in a farm attack. I noted the name down here, Wilmien Potgieter. I think it's well known in South Africa. You've just told me that you don't want to recall the memory of. Can you, and I'm perhaps pushing too hard here, but are you able to tell us something about Wilmien Potgieter?
Yeah, I know Wilmien Potgieter. That's one of the few that is always on the lips of the people here. 2-year-old little girl that was murdered and thrown into the trough for the cattle, where the cattle got water, in front of a family, a father and a mother, and both of them were also murdered. So yeah, it's very painful to think about all that stuff that's done.
I get that. I want to talk to you, and you've just indicated to me that's very difficult for you to talk about this. So please forgive me. I want to talk to you about the fact that there seems to be a great deal of torture involved here in the murder. This is not a straightforward criminal act. It's not somebody coming to rob your farm and you get killed in the process. This has got another character. Paint that character for me. Tell me, what do you think this is all about? I noted here some words down for me. It's about torture, it seems to me. It's about humiliating people, and it seems to be driven by hate. Make me, insofar as you can, a character sketch of the kind of violence, the kind of murders that are being committed here.
Like I said in the beginning, I think it's sadistic. It's very, very graphic that what they do to people. I mean, torturing them with hot water spraying down people's throats, boiling water, red hot irons burning them, and that goes on for hours. Like I said, up to 9 hours. It was people that were tortured for 9 hours. So yeah, that's very, very bad. The hatred, like you said, I don't think you can describe that. And always the question that I always ask is why. Most of them are very elderly people or the young people that's defenseless for themselves, and that's vulnerable, that they can take easy. They don't take where there's lots of people. They go where there's only one or two people that they have to attack, and the older people, and then they do all this very brutal torture that they do on that farmers. And personally, I think that is because they want to try and chase white farmers from their farms.
I'm trying to, and you've given me an answer already in that, is trying to get the motive behind that. Do you think the prime motive is to actually drive fear into the hearts of people, terror into the hearts of people, so that they can vacate the land? Do you think this is driven by trying to force people through forms of terror of the land?
That's most certainly one of the biggest motivations about it, according to me, for the attacks. One of the statistics that is that before 94, there were just over 100,000 farmers, commercial big farmers in South Africa, and at this stage they're less than 32,000. So where is 2/3 gone? Is gone. So there's something that's they're trying to chase away.
Mm-hmm.
The people are feeding them. I mean, last night I saw a thing that they say, why is all the if you go into Africa, all the black communities are so is hungry in that countries because they've chased away all the farmers.
Do you think it is in any way organized? That it's not a spontaneous thing. It's not a group of thugs that are planning to do this, because if the aim of it is to terrorize people and to chase them off their land, to put fear into their hearts through the terrible acts that are being committed, then it's something that, it seems to me, must in some form or another be planned. And if it's planned, then there must be planners and something behind that.
You know, if it was a normal crime, all the houses that they attacked, all the farms that were attacked, they would have taken all the TVs, all the valuables that's a bit valuable to resell them to get money. So if they were just a normal robbery, they will take that. Most of the farm attacks, the only thing that they take is weapons. They get the vehicle that they took off to Flair with some of the few things that they took 2 to 5 kilometers from the scene, standing next to the road or somewhere in the bush. With all the stuff there, just the weapons is gone. If it's planned, I think most certainly it is planned from somewhere. This is not a normal crime. It is like a gangster crime, or if you can call it that, that's coming from somewhere. And that somewhere is the main thing that we must still find out where that is.
Yeah. Can you give me an idea of what kind of successes the police have in catching these perpetrators or finding them?
Catching them is very, very low. I know that I don't have the statistics with me now or out of my head, but it's very low. And farm attackers that they catch, the finding guilty is also very, very low.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing why we say it's not a normal crime.
Yeah.
It's the same as the Killer Boer, Killer Farmer song that was set aside as hate speech.
Yeah.
When they go to the Court of Appeal, then all of a sudden all the judges that are ANC appointed said, no, it's not. So they set it aside and said, no, it's not hate speech.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you see a link, Kobus? Is there a link for you between that which Malema is screaming, kill the Boer, kill the farmer, and the actual killing?
Like I said earlier, if you see nearer to voting time, voting years, nearer to voting, when there's more political meetings and gatherings like that, big ones in the stadiums, where they chant all those war cries or what you can call them, then there is more attacks. Yeah, so there is definitely a bit of connection between that.
Shoot to kill, Yamaza, kill the poor, the farmer, kill the poor, the farmer, brr, pa, pa, brr, pa, pa.
Let me ask you this question, and it has a lot to do with the nature of these crimes, as I understand it, the horrific things that they do to people, the torturing of people, the humiliation of people. Do you think that it's not normal to be able to commit such crimes? Do you think that drugs are involved in some way? Somebody mentioned the word muti meaning medicine, I imagine. Is this infused by some kind of a drug or something like that kind of lead to these incredible, vicious, ugly, horrendous crimes that you have no words to describe?
That's why I say sadistic, because it's part. There is something, definitely some medicine. Muti, like they say, is the Sotho word or the black word for like a drug. Not like the LSD drugs or stuff like that, but like
some kind of concoction.
On a concoction that's most of that is, if you know what's in that muti of them, most certainly they must be not normal. Can't be normal to do.
Have you got any idea of whether black farmers are also affected? And if so, what would be the difference in which the crimes against black farmers would be committed versus the crimes that are committed against white farmers? Or is there any distinction to be made?
I don't think there's a distinction in the few. I mean, there's only a few that was black farmers attacked. The main thing that is or the main group that is affected in the black community are the farm workers. I mean, some of that farm workers were working for the person that's on the farm that's murdered for his great-grandfather already, or his grandfather already. So some of them are old and long on the farm, and if they don't want to work together with the people giving them information about the farmhouse and stuff, they're also tortured. And then afterwards, they don't have a job anymore, so they lose all their income. Everything is lost for them.
Do you have any idea about statistics, Kobus, about what numbers are we talking about if we compare the number of white farmers being killed to black farmers being killed?
No, I don't have any exactly the percentage or statistic on that, but it's a very few. I don't think it will even be 1% black against one.
Yeah. And those black farmers that are also being killed, and some of them are also being tortured, are they also being honored by the white crosses?
Like I said in the beginning, we work with them, and if they ask us to put the cross there, we do it, but at this stage, not yet one from them.
Tell me about what's it like to be a farmer today in South Africa. How do you protect yourself?
You do all the steps that you can take. I mean, in the older days, we always had every second night or so, you went to your neighbors. You have to went and visit them and came late at home. Now you can't do that. Sorry. You can't even go out and visit them. 6 o'clock, 6:30 at the evening. Then you lock your places. You put up every camera that you have. You switch on every electric fence that you have. Switch on. Lock every door, every gate that you have to try and be as safe as possible.
Have you considered inviting Ramaphosa to the memorial, to the White Cross Memorial?
No, not at this stage.
Uh-huh. Has any government officials been to the White Cross Memorial?
Not that I've known of. The only, there's no government officials that visited the memorial yet.
So what I don't understand, and I think what people don't understand, is we're talking about these horrific crimes that are being committed. We talk about large numbers of people being affected by these horrific crimes. And it just seems to me two things: that and help me if I'm wrong, the South African media is not paying much attention to it. And secondly, I would imagine in a normal country, in a normal world, that the government officials from all parties would queue up to go and visit the memorial and to go and pay their respects. And that doesn't seem to happen.
Yeah, I think it's like Donald Trump said in the White House. If it was the other group, how big was the media would have been on that? Since it's the white farmers, there's nothing. So, yeah, I think most of the politicians are also trying to be politically correct, and that's why they don't visit the memorial site here.
What is it like to be an Afrikaner in the new South Africa?
Dion, that's a very, very difficult question. But if you have all the racial laws, the BE and BEE, there's so many laws that's against white people at this stage. So it's not easy to be a South African or a white South African at this stage. And then if you have a look, almost 80% of the taxes, and that was released not long ago, are paid by white South Africans to support all the government stuff and all the people getting pensions and everything out of the government.
I'm asking you this question because I'm an Afrikaner myself, and I spoke to my brother on the telephone the other night, and he said to me, when I walk through the streets of the town where he lives, he said, I just don't feel I belong here anymore, or I just feel this is not my country anymore. So as an Afrikaner to an Afrikaner, do you think that all fingers are pointing towards the Afrikaner that carries the guilt of it all, or are forced to carry the guilt of it all? And what does that feel like for you as an Afrikaner to be in that situation?
Well, that's like you say, all the guilt that they try to put on. I mean, to Van Riebeeck, if there's something wrong, it's since 1652. I would like to give the description. At the memorial site, there's a statue of a farmer with a gun protecting his wife that's kneeling behind him. And the farmer that's protecting his wife, that's one of the things. The second thing that's there, the wife is kneeling in prayer to the Heavenly Father, that's our Savior. But the third thing, and that's where I want to answer your question here. She's pregnant, and she's holding a pregnant tummy with the other hand. And I think that's the thing that our Boer and white South Africans, we always think there's still a future. The pregnancy of the woman that's kneeling there shows there's still a future for us in South Africa.
what is that which you can hold on to if you see everything around you collapsing as it is collapsing in South Africa? You see the incredible, unspeakable decay. I see the images of Johannesburg. I saw where I had a little apartment when I was a young student that there are cattle walking around in Yeoville, just a suburb of Johannesburg. And you think, but this is just, it boggles the mind. What what gives you the hope to carry on?
Our hope is coming from above, the creator of the human. We are all very Christian people. The farmers, the Boer people are very Christian, and they still believe in that Jesus Christ will save us, and so that's the hope we have is with Him.
Would you consider taking refugee ship if you can?
That's. I don't think I want to answer that question on this platform.
Are you aware of lots and lots of other people that are considering exactly that at the moment?
I'm aware of a few people that's doing that. They're considering it. Yeah, well, I'm let me say I'm looking at that. But there must be still flowing a few drops of water into the ocean before I'll make a final decision on that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because I must say to you that I find it difficult to talk to you. I find it painful to talk to you. I am much aware of what's going on in South Africa, and all I can say is I wish everybody just the best, and that we'll somehow find some way to solve problems. And hopefully this focus that Donald Trump has put on South Africa, and in particular on the plight of the farmers, I hope that something good will come out of that. And yeah, thank you very much for talking to me.
Johan, thanks a lot.